Track 29, Greenwich. Greenwich, track 29.
And I just got off a plane, so what can go wrong?
Right, I agree.
Right. This is our very first Cinema Shame on location episode. We're coming to you live as podcasting can get, from the Turner Classic Movie Film Festival in Los Angeles, California. We have a familiar face with us today. Familiar voice, I should say. This is podcasting, right? You can introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Raquel Stecher, and I blog at Out of the Past.
You might remember her from our epic two-part Rocky series, which was, I think...
the best two-part episode of any podcast ever.
Absolutely. It's most definitely the best two-part Cinema Shame episode. I also, today...
The only one, too!
I'm not clarifying. We also have Jessica Pickens of Comment Over Hollywood.
Hello, happy to be here.
She hasn't been on a Cinema Shame episode, but we've been planning one for about 6 months, so it's like she's been in one already.
It's true, yep. You've listened to me without knowing it. I don't know.
Figure that one out. Let's see, we had plans for today in terms of an outline and things, but we'll see how that goes. It may not happen at all. The hot topic that goes around to everyone at TCMFF hashtag is, what are you going to watch at this year's festival? And since this is Cinema Shame, we're going to focus on the movies we haven't seen before that we're looking forward to. So Jessica, why don't you start us off with one or two of the films that you're really looking forward to this year?
Sure. I feel like a lot of people, I'm most looking forward to None Shall Escape, starring Marsha Hunt. As far as I can tell, it's never been shown on TV or released on VHS or DVD or anything like that. So it's a really rare screening, and generally I try to see things that I've never seen before at the festival. So that's definitely what I'm most excited about.
Now, what theater is that playing in?
I think it's Theater 4.
We should make a asterisk footnote here in this part of the conversation, in that anyone who has attended... Six? Well, we'll talk about 4 anyway, because it seemed like a logical segue at the time. Theater 4 is where they often stick movies that everyone wants to see, for whatever reason. It is also the smallest theater at the festival, and there have been bloodbaths over seeing particular movies. 2 years ago, we had the double harness fiasco that
people still talk about.
I still talk about it. I keep it going because I was one of the 7 people that made it into that movie.
It's so funny because I had seen Double Harness so many times before it screened at the festival.
Okay, can I add that it was available for free in its entirety on the TCM website for years?
Yeah.
And I own the DVD, so I have no interest in seeing it.
The DVD is out of print, and it is going for silly prices, right? And it is a perfectly fine movie. And when I got in line, I was just thinking, hey, I kind of like this one. I'll go see it. And then it was like a big to-do.
Yes.
With people getting shut out of the original screening and the follow-up TBD on Sunday. So
yeah,
it was wild.
I think it's the William Powell pre-code draw.
Anytime you have pre-code in Theater 4, somebody's going to lose an eye.
Yes.
Or something.
Last year, we managed to avoid all the bloodletting because they put those pre-codes in the Egyptian. Mm-hmm. This year, they thought we had too much harmony last year, and we're back in Theater 4, and the Theater 4 Thunderdome moniker will live on.
What
But since we discussed that without really having any grounds for doing so, that was just a bonus for everyone at home. Is there anything else that you're looking forward to? That's
top of mind. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to, but that's what I'm most excited for.
How about you, Raquel?
Well, I always say that the TCM Festival is like cinema education for me, because there's always movies that I've never seen before, or some I've never even heard of before, and I'm like, well, I need to watch these. So there are several films that I am excited to watch, and tonight I want to watch Failsafe from 1964.
Or always described as a political war thriller. I think it's a horror story. It is so good. It's so terrifying what it says about war and the different balances of opinions about war, how war should be conducted and everything. But so brilliantly directed by Sidney Lumet with this impeccable cast, wonderful actors, but at the really the head of it, the dominant head of it, although he's not literally the star of it, is Henry Fonda.
Well, I think that, I've seen written for forever and in many, many places that this film, the rap on this film is that it always suffers by comparison to Kubrick's film Strangelove, which was a far more ironic twist on the same idea of accidental nuclear holocaust or unintentional nuclear holocaust. And this is a very underappreciated film.
Yeah.
This comes during that ride from 1957, beginning with 12 Angry Men, of Lumet's most fertile period. I mean, he just goes on and does Anderson tapes and Serpico and Dog Day Afternoon.
Long Days, Journey.
I mean, he does countless films during that period. And then even after that period, he's doing The Verdict, and he did Daniel with Timothy Hutton, one of my favorite films. And, I mean, Lumet is really, it's hard to believe, it's almost staggering to believe that Lumet received an honorary Oscar that was his only Oscar for his great career.
Right.
And as you said, one of the greatest film actors of all time steps in, and Fonda is probably the best rendering of someone playing the president.
Or the one you'd want to be president.
Exactly.
You have the same equipment we do. What did it tell you?
It did not tell us what is in your mind, Mr. President.
I'm telling you that.
And you ask me to believe you.
You must believe me.
Walter Bernstein, who was a blacklisted screenwriter, he wrote it. And also, I just found out that my favorite film researcher, Lillian Michelson, worked on it, because I got to talk to her, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch Failsafe. That's the first movie I'm going to watch. And she's like, I worked on that, which is pretty cool.
That's a nice bonus.
So that's the first one I'm excited about, but I don't know if you want to talk about other ones later or...
Sure.
Or now or whatever. I don't know if you have a list.
No, I kind of go with the flow at the festival.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's very laid back of you.
This is really the first year I kind of tried to plot it out, but I know it's not ideally going to happen that way. I am maybe going to see Grand Prix at the Cinerama
I am
Dome.
so conflicted over that time.
I am too, because I really want to go to the Claude Jarman book signing at 11:30 in the morning, which is during Grand Prix, but I've never seen a movie in the Cinerama Dome.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get to see Eva Marie Saint at another time.
Right.
Our next film is a drama from one of the most skilled car chase directors who ever lived, John Frankenheimer. And this film is one big car chase. It's Frankenheimer's film about Formula One racing with level 1 stars. James Garner, Eva Marie Saint, and Yves Montand. From 1966, it's Grand Prix. If you're a fan of Frankenheimer films, and he made so many good ones, it will come as no surprise that he loved directing cars. His car chase sequence in 1998's Ronin is one of the best put to film, a rival to William Friedkin's chase in 1971's The French Connection. So, also no surprise to learn Frankenheimer loved auto racing, and with Grand Prix, he set out to make the best car racing movie of all time. The director was determined to capture the power and energy of Grand Prix racing without resorting to any of the tricks filmmakers typically used in racing movies, like rear projection and miniature car crashes. The film was shot on location at various European Grand Prix events. Frankenheimer then used the race footage without speeding up the film to make the cars seem like they were moving faster than they really were. Frankenheimer created special camera mounts for the cars so the audience could experience the race as it was happening. He did use one gimmick, but it was a new one, and it was no trick. He used the relatively new technique of split screens and multiple images to give the viewer simultaneous perspective. As I mentioned, the movie stars James Garner as an American racer on the European Grand Prix circuit, and we go along for the ride as he and his opponents maneuver through the circuit and their private lives.
I don't know.
But the sound editing in that film is amazing, and also just to see it on that humongous round screen. Will be like,
2 years ago, when the Cine Mystery played at the Cinerama Dome with the fake smell-o-vision that they did, and that's still my favorite experience at any TCM film festival. So if you haven't been to the Cinerama Dome, it's a definite must, and I'm even considering it because I haven't been there in 2 years since. So I was thinking about that one, and that would totally throw off that day, and plans just all go to hell.
Yeah.
And if you pick Grand Prix, your day is it's a free for all. Just
that's
give
almost
up.
your whole day.
Throw away your phone. You've got no schedule left.
12-hour movie.
It might be worth it though, just for like
that's what I think.
Crazy good racing scenes in the audio.
It does make for a more leisurely morning because you have a leisurely walk, and then you have a leisurely walk back because you have nowhere else to be since it ends in the middle of whatever the next time slot was. So.
Right. This is the one time I went to the Cinerama Dome. It was exactly like that. It's a Mad World was showing, and it was like a humongous block of time. You had to invest in it.
Was Mickey Rooney there?
Yes, he was. And I walked by him, and I was going to the bathroom. He was on his way. I was waiting for his limo. It was funny.
That's great.
I think my most anticipated first watch is Sweetback's Baadasssss song, because I still never seen it. I've been waiting to see it on a decent source, and it was supposed to come on Blu-ray a number of years ago from Vinegar Syndrome, and it still hasn't happened yet. So this is going to be it.
You keep the faith in me, and you my man. You my favorite man. Can you take it, baby? Every dollar we make, the Guinness get 20, the police get 40, and Goldbergs get 50. Anybody can tell you that don't add up to $1. That adds up to $1 and a dime.
No, I haven't seen Sweetback. I haven't seen the cat. I don't want to see him. Split! Leave, mother!
You offer pretty good news to me, slapping up on some white cops. Yes, indeed.
And then The World's Greatest Sinner is the other one I'm looking forward to, because I knew of it because of Frank Zappa's score, but I've never had the opportunity to see the movie, and I don't know much about it beyond the plot synopsis. Failed salesman becomes the world's greatest rockabilly musician and calls himself God. So it's the Brian Setzer story, maybe. Anything that sounds that ridiculous. And I should mention that I've had a 2-year running non-watch fest of Once Upon a Time in the West, because it's been on my personal Cinema Shame list for that long, but I still haven't watched it. And I've owned the DVD probably for 5-6 years at this point. So I feel like I should go, but I still haven't planned on what that might be.
It's another 12-hour movie.
It's just so long. It's so long, but it's one of those here that they set up that doesn't even interrupt other time slots.
Oh, that's good. That is good.
You see, that's what happens when you put your outline on a phone, and then the phone goes to sleep as you have a
We were staring at
dramatic pause while I go to the next topic.
We took a pre-TCM festival nap.
Yeah, that was
in that intro. Nap. That's what that was.
Right. It was just a quick 20-second power nap before we started all the festivities. Usually we save those for the 8 o'clock time slot, though, so that was just a little premature.
I take a lot of naps at TCM. I try really hard not to, but man,
no, that's the shame too of like you go and you're so excited for this event and you listen to the guest and you start the movie and then
it's always that same slot for me. I am go all day long, and then I get to that 8 o'clock movie. It doesn't really matter what it is, and I will doze off. I think the one exception was when Black Narcissus was last year. That was at an 8 o'clock slot, and I made it all the way through. I was also sitting about in the 6th row, and everything was right up in your face.
Yeah.
It was hard to get into the nap, but that was the first time watch for me, and I became obsessed with the film afterwards.
Good.
So it must have been good.
Well, you're tired, your blood sugar might be low, because sometimes I'm like, I haven't eaten, and then that's when I fall asleep. So.
My biggest nap shame at the festival, if we can call it a nap shame, is The Women, which was in that time slot. That's one of my top 5 favorite movies. I was so excited to see it. The intro was kind of crap, but it was one of my favorite movies at El Capitan, I think it was.
I remember that, yeah.
And I fell asleep.
I fell asleep during.
I've seen it.
I fell asleep during Notorious, which I've also seen that, and the only reason I woke up is because I was sitting beside Kristen Sales, and she started eating an apple, and the crunch jolted me awake.
I think nap shame is a perfectly relatable topic for Cinema Shame. We're confessing all sorts of cinema sins here.
And I do not fall asleep during movies.
No. Just here.
Except
just
for here, yeah.
And in film school, when I was subjected to an entire semester of silent cinema, and I had to watch Passion of Joan of Arc twice once in 2 consecutive semesters, and I didn't make it an hour into the movie before I fell asleep the entire thing.
Everybody's like, that movie's so beautiful. It might be, but it's so boring.
I'm sure it's fantastic. In order to make up for that, I had to go and watch it in the film library at my college, and you're watching it on screens that are about 5x5 monitors in the library with headphones on.
I remember those days.
And you just end up putting your head down on the desk because it's just it's impossible to concentrate or focus on a film. So I've still never seen that movie start to finish all the way through.
Me neither.
I've seen the entire thing in bits and pieces, and I just don't want to do it.
And it's a lot of close-ups of faces.
It's a whole lot of close-ups.
So I mean, there you go. The movie is close-ups of faces, and then she gets burned.
Was it last year that it played here? Is that?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah, with live music.
Everyone was really excited about that screening. I'm like, everybody can go over that, and whatever else is going to be playing.
I saw that, and I was like, y'all have fun.
I know. I'm glad you had a spiritual experience, because I guess I've had too many with that film.
That's funny.
Anyway, let's get back to the outline. We submitted a request to Twitter before arriving here today and asked them for topics that we should discuss on this podcast. The first one that came up was merely tank tops. I have since lost the requester, but we are still going to stick to our obligation and discuss tank tops. I have taken this one step further and created a 16 tank top bracket. We're going to rapid fire vote and come up with the ultimate cinematic tank top by the time this is over.
Okay.
Raquel and Jessica will vote on the pairings, and if they split the vote, I will break the tie, and we'll hopefully get through this in the shortest amount of time possible. Okay. We'll start with the 8 and 9 seeds: Robert De Niro in Raging Bull versus Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
Oh, Sigourney Weaver.
Raging Bull, sorry. Only because I've seen that recently.
I haven't seen either.
I'm going to go with Sigourney on that one because she's badass in that movie.
Sweaty, I guess they both are sweaty.
And when I think of Raging Bull, I don't think of Jake LaMotta tank tops. I don't. Maybe that's what we're going to go with here. All right. Next up, we have 7-10, Warren Beatty and Bonnie and Clyde versus Kurt Russell in Big Trouble in Little China.
Warren Beatty!
Oh, man. I keep disagreeing with Raquel.
That's okay.
I'm going to say Kurt Russell in honor of my mother because she loves him.
Oh, that's sweet.
Again, I've got to side with Jessica on this one because Big Trouble is one of my favorite movies, and I mean that Kurt Russell role is, that's the Kurt Russell role in my mind. So Sorry, Raquel.
I don't know. The
Blah,
Kurt
blah.
Russell role is
I-
it happened at the World's Fair when he kicks Elvis.
Oh, yeah. That's
How
a great
could you
scene.
forget?
That's another podcast. Next, we have Kevin Bacon in Footloose versus Susan Sarandon in Thelma and Louise.
Susan Sarandon.
Yeah, I'll go with Susan Sarandon
Susan
too.
Sarandon, for sure.
Sylvester Stallone in Rambo First Blood Part 2 versus Jennifer Connelly in Career Opportunities.
Oh, I cannot stand Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah,
so.
I think I'll go with Rambo because I thought you were gonna throw in a loop and like do Sylvester Stallone in this Rambo and Sylvester Stallone and this other Rambo.
I don't know Rambo's that well.
I don't either.
I don't actually think he wears a tank top in the first Rambo movie.
Oh.
I tried to, because as I recall, he's shirtless
Okay.
in the first Rambo. In Rambo 2, he has the black tank top.
Okay.
The iconic, it's the only black one on here, so I feel like it should probably go through. Jennifer Connelly made it because that movie is pretty much built around a scene of her riding one of those mechanical horses, like in the kitty horses
I know what
in
you're talking
the
about.
store. So that's built around a tank top scene, which is what
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. But
I haven't seen it, but I've seen that scene.
yeah. Well, it'd be iconic because tank tops, right? Next, we have Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 versus Nick Cage and his wonderful mullet in Con Air.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Moving right along, we have Paul Newman in The Sting at the 3 seed versus Christopher Walken in Pennies from Heaven.
Paul Newman.
Yeah, that's no contest.
That one was easy.
See, we're starting to agree now.
Though Christopher Walken was singing and dancing in that scene, so he's got that going.
Could be. Never mind. Yeah, he was on the boat, the Natalie Wood boat, so nobody ever discusses
straight up drama here.
Again, that's another podcast.
That is another podcast.
All right, we're getting down to the last segments of the first round. Bruce Willis in Die Hard versus Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man.
I don't know.
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah. I root for him. He had a hard life, and now he's doing better.
I agree with this.
So
I mean, the
I
cocaine
think
carries him through. That is a stunning upset. Stunning upset. Good for Robert Downey
He's
Jr.
doing well. Yeah.
I mean, that is certainly the biggest upset in tank top bracket history. Now we have Marlon Brando in A Streetcar Named Desire versus Demi Moore in G.I. Jane.
Okay, I think we might be split on this because I'm Marlon Brando.
I'm just not picking him out of principle because I hate Marlon Brando. So I'll go with Demi Moore, I guess.
It's got to be Marlon Brando here. Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, can we throw in a wild card? Because I
Do you
know
want-
one that's much older, like a very iconic tank top.
Okay.
It's not really a tank top though.
See, that's
It is.
there's a lot of things that I had to look up that weren't quite tank tops.
Yeah.
It's
This
really
might not
hard.
be one.
It doesn't seem like they existed before a certain period in history, or at least in movie history, where it was like maybe they were scandalous. Were tank tops scandalous? Was that production? Was that production code problems?
Well, it happened one night. Clark Gable
But I looked it
and
up.
the undershirt.
He's shirtless.
Yeah, he wasn't wearing an undershirt.
Oh, that's right.
And then,
He had
the
the-
sales went down because he wasn't.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then that won't count.
Someone suggested that to me, and they were sure that he wore a tank top, and I went back and looked it up because I didn't remember.
have it imprinted in my brain that
right,
he did.
and I was like, I didn't think about it. I didn't think that he had, and then I was like, but maybe he was, and I'm just misremembering. So I went back and
I totally misremembered
And
that.
He has in
he's
some
shirtless.
stuff. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
in,
I think we've seen him. Okay, all right.
you would think so, but when if you type in the problem with Googling any actor in tank top,
You get their face on a tank top.
you get 5 pages of search results with their face on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
True.
So getting to actual movies was a little bit of a quest.
It's hard.
Yeah.
And some of it involved me popping in a movie that I thought might have a tank top and
my gosh.
always finding that it did not.
We
Wow.
appreciate your research.
This was a lot of research. Good
It
job.
was more than I ever wanted to do about cinematic tank tops.
All right, we got to
Okay.
find out the winner.
All right, now, second round. Kurt Russell in Big Trouble versus Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah, it's Sigourney Weaver.
Sylvester Stallone in Rambo First Blood Part 2 versus Susan Sarandon in Thelma and Louise.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to go Sylvester Stallone just because of my 2-part episode, Rocky.
I'll go Sylvester Stallone.
The black tank top goes.
I think I've actually seen that tank top. I've never seen Thelma.
He wears a tank top in Rocky. Oh, man, that's an undershirt.
It's
same thing.
He has a tank top on in Rocky 3.
Oh, okay.
For like a hot second.
Okay. That counts.
The Rambo one was far more iconic.
Yes.
Okay. Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 versus Paul Newman in The Sting.
Paul Newman. I think I might know the way.
And now we have Marlon Brando in Streetcar versus Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man.
I'll do Robert Downey.
Yeah.
That again.
Even though Marlon Brando, though, him in that tank top.
That is the entire movie. Like
yeah.
It's the whole thing. It's super sweaty and sticky, and it's all about the tank top.
It's like they're always so
fits
hot.
the movie, yeah.
Yeah, like they just look like they need a bath. In those movies, like that.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So what did we decide?
I guess Robert Downey.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's more of an emotional reaction.
For his troubles.
Not a cinematic reason.
The cocaine still carries him into the third round. Okay. We're getting down to the bottom here. The final 4. Sigourney Weaver, Alien versus Sylvester Stallone in Rambo First Blood Part 2.
I think I'm going to say Sigourney.
Sylvester Stallone?
So you were supposed to decide that one for me.
Sorry.
I gotta take Sigourney Weaver.
Dun, dun, dun.
And now my pen is... It's jet lag too. I'll just blame everything in jet lag. And now, Robert Downey Jr. versus Paul Newman.
Paul Newman. Sorry, Robert. We don't love you that much.
And now, if I had a drum roll or a drummer or something, I'd play it right here. There you go. Ladies are kicking in for me. Paul Newman in The Sting versus Sigourney Weaver in Alien.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman wins.
Yay!
That was pretty quick.
He's hot.
Well,
I mean, who wouldn't want to see him in a tank top?
At any age.
They're going to the gate at Belmont, and here are the late odds.
Both those garbage men belong to you? Well, get them out of here and don't bring them back. This is a class joint.
What other cravats? Can we do a cravat bracket next?
Or like tie pins in like old movies.
Spats.
There's such possibilities for this format.
There is.
For anybody listening, Raquel and I really want classic film themed tank tops.
Yes,
Quality,
please.
perhaps racerback. First, so we can show while we exercise that we also are film lovers, but we also move off the couch.
Yes.
I think now we need to design a Paul Newman and the Sting Cinema
idea.
Shame tank top to go on the website so that you can design it for your workout needs and have you can get the best of all worlds right now.
I enjoy that.
And then when we Google Paul Newman tank top, it'll come up
I think
first
that's a good idea.
before any of the film images.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Me too.
The next listener submitted topic. Not as exciting as tank tops.
Nothing is.
Gold. No. You're throwing a golden age Hollywood movie star dinner. You have 3 invites, apparently, so it's around 4 at the table. So who do you invite to your golden age Hollywood dinner?
So mine, I don't know if mine are too exciting. They more speak to me and my interests. My number 1 is Robert Mitchum. Because he's my favorite actor.
Good drinker, too. Good drinker.
Good drinker, and would probably tell the most hilarious stories of his, various adventures making lots of movies. I have Susan Peters, who, I don't know, would they all be at the same dinner, or would they be separate?
No, I think
dinner?
they're all at the same, we're all at the same table here.
Okay, so she might not be the best pick, but I picked Susan Peters, who's my favorite actress, but I just kind of want to pick her brain because she was such a quiet person and also kind of a tragic figure, so I just want to figure out what's going on with her. And then Akeem Tamirov, who is one of my top favorite people. I feel like also with him and Robert Mitchum, I think that would kind of be fun. And he would probably have a lot of great stories, and he would just be hilarious, I think.
Do you have any specific considerations when you're thinking about your list? Like where did you start? Did you because I know I went to first I was like, okay, who's a great drinker? Because I need some drinking buddies.
Yeah.
And then like I started to think about other things after that, but that seemed to be my first priority was that you needed like an Algonquin round table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I thought of like, okay, who's been on Dick Cavett and which one of those interviews was really good? And Robert Mitchum one is one of my favorites. But like, he has to be in a good mood too.
Yeah. Oh my god!
So if he was
maybe
drinking,
Dick Cavett should be one of them at the table to spur conversation.
See, I was actually going to put Dick Cavett down.
That would be a good reason to do it.
He's not a golden age of cinema actor.
But he's connected. I don't think it didn't say actor. It said
but I don't consider him golden age. I was thinking like,
but he's connected.
It's his movie star.
Movie star. Okay.
Okay.
He's been in movies.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I would have, but he actually
was
my second choice.
He's amazing in Beetlejuice. He's amazing in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
What are you, Jessica?
Oh yeah. So I'm actually kind of just thinking of mine spur of the moment.
Those are usually the best kind.
Joel McCrea, because he's a good actor, but he's also one of my top movie crushes.
Mm-hmm.
Van Johnson.
Van Johnson.
Because he's one of my top movie crushes.
I'm sensing a theme.
And
Paul Newman in tank tops.
No. Who would be my third? I'll say Claudette Colbert, because she's one of my favorite actresses and in a lot of my favorite movies. I don't know if they get along. Probably Joel and Claudette would, and they'd be fine, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
But those are my picks.
I was thinking, I as I said, I went first to drinking buddies, and the more I thought about it, all the guys I wanted to invite based on their drinking habits, it might take a turn because, I mean, some of them were a little too rowdy. So then I went to that and thought, well, Vincent Price, because you know, if he were there, the food would have to be excellent. Like I could put him, like, give him some jobs to do in terms of, I mean, as a chef, but organizing the food. And then I needed conversation, so I thought about Louise Brooks because she was never afraid to dish. If you've read her biography, she had some juicy things, but she's always very polite about it. She doesn't like to name names, but she makes sure you know who she's talking about. So
James Cagney was kind of like that too.
Yeah,
in his
I thought about him.
bio,
I thought about him, but Louise Brooks kind of filled that role in terms of conversationalist. But then I wanted sort of a storyteller. So I thought, and then I fulfilled my drinking buddy thing with Dean Martin.
Oh, perfect!
Because he's got stories to tell.
Yeah.
And he was a notorious drinker in persona.
Yeah.
But in real life, he wasn't. So I think that strikes the balance there, that he's not going to drink me on the table, but he's got the stories to go along with it.
And he's good at, like, with the Dean Martin roasts, just, like, having a bunch of personalities.
You need someone to referee the conversation.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if the passive-aggressiveness between Louise Brooks and Vincent Price would become too much, because I'm sure that they might clash a little bit. You need somebody to break that tension.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, what'd you do today, Dean? Well, I was sailing. Well, did you have fun? Yeah, until Catherine came in and pulled the plug out of the tub. Boy, did I feel silly. All the water was gone, and I was left just sitting in there with my little sloop.
Excuse me, may I sit on this stool?
Certainly. What else could you do with it?
My name is Galacto.
That's a strange name. Where are you from?
Well, I am from the planet Ellipton. I am a visitor from outer space.
Who are you trying to kid? You can't be from another planet. You look just like me.
Well, now, there's no need to be insulting. Excuse me just a minute.
You thought of this a lot better than I did.
Well, you know, when you're in a lift coming from
favorites.
when you're in a lift coming from LAX, you have a lot of time to think about these things. Okay, the other listener request that we had was an opinion on the Olivia de Havilland defamation suit.
Oh, that's really complicated.
It is very complicated, and I didn't watch the show.
I didn't either, and
this may be a short conversation.
I know what happened, but I'm not well read enough on it.
I'm conflicted because Olivia de Havilland has a point in terms of, like, representation of her life and what she did, but also the filmmakers and TV show makers will have the rights to their art,
right, to adapt the story.
Well, I think I could be wrong, but didn't it also, like, if somebody was making not just a biopic, but like a documentary, didn't that also kind of go into play with it? So it's hard, you know?
I guess, like, I don't know, the opinion is no opinion.
Yeah,
we just had the first no comment.
Yeah. That's, yep.
But it did seem to me when I did a quick search, because I'd heard about the suit and I was curious about exactly what the source of it was, and I didn't really get the sense that she had really anything to go on in terms of arguing about the creative license, and even some of the stuff I did read didn't necessarily think that it painted her in a highly negative light.
Yeah.
So I was a little bit surprised that it was a thing at all, but I mean, she certainly had apparently reasons to disagree with what went on screen, but I don't.
It's not the first time she's fought either.
No. I think it was an incredibly historic situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's how we feel.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Everyone at home, we apologize for just not really having much of an opinion on it. But that I did filter out a few listener requests.
Oh, we're not going to do the eliminate elevate because I have great.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
I'm ready.
I'm so excited for this
I added
one.
that one later. Yeah, this is my old outline. I'm glad somebody's on top of things.
I know.
I am not.
Because I'm ready for it. I
even thought about it on the way here, so I don't know what my excuse is. Raquel, since you are enthusiastic about this, and I know you have been since the moment I proposed this, I can't even explain to you what she's doing. She's got both fists ready to elevate. She's ready
to box like a Rocky.
She's ready to do a Rocky. She's run up the steps. She's ready to. Yeah, she just defeated Apollo Creed in Rocky 2, and now she's ready to declare to the world that she wants to eliminate one specific classic movie from the record.
Okay, so this kind of ties into what you were saying earlier about watching movies on those little tiny screens and those desks in college. That's how I watched The Quiet Man.
Oh,
and I know everyone loves this movie. John Ford, John Wayne.
Before we continue down this, I think it's important to note that what format did you watch it on? That tiny little cathode ray screen in the library. Was it on VHS too?
Yes,
and that would have been the color would have been non-existent.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like I mean, if I gave it a shot on the big screen. Better quality, better presentation, like at least maybe appreciate the visual part of it. But
people are so devoted to that film.
I know.
There is a fervent passion behind The Quiet Man.
It's
true.
true.
I do not share it.
I like it, but I'm not obsessed. It's not like, the best movie. It's very pretty.
Yeah.
And there's some lines I like, but I'm not.
It's very pretty is my go-to. Like, I don't really have an opinion on it.
That's how I feel about
it's just pretty.
a lot of things, like Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
But that's not my movie.
Barry Lyndon, I did watch for Cinema Sham a couple years ago, and I started out live tweeting it just because I got so bored watching it, and so I just kept sending the same tweet over and over again saying, "That's pretty lighting."
Still watching.
Yeah,
still watching.
Yep.
Took me 3 days to get through it, and I think that helped.
Breaking it up, yeah. Okay.
Is that your pick for
No, because I'm sure it's important in some way.
Like Barry Lyndon, it's innocuous to me. Like I can appreciate the visuals. It is a beautifully shot movie, and it doesn't. I don't have any ill will towards it. And I afterwards, I was glad that I finally saw it to understand the craft behind it too, like what it takes to shoot candlelight and how rare it is to see that on screen. It looks totally different, but it doesn't mean I'm going to engage with that movie for 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not one I probably will readily rewatch.
No, it's just there, and it can exist, and it has its fans. But I'm sorry, we interrupted The Quiet Man.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, that almost turned me off of classic movies forever, because I thought the storyline was very backwards, and I was like, are they all like this? And then I watched Out of the Past and other movies, and it kind of pulled me out of that. And I watched it for an Irish literature and culture class that I took in college, because I'm obsessed with everything Irish. So, but I feel like I could like it maybe in the future. It just was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah. I've had those.
Yeah. That happens.
I actually wrote a paper on that too.
Oh,
it was for an anthropology class. I don't remember what it was. I think it was about...
That's everybody's memory of anthropology in college. I don't really remember it.
I think I
took an anthrop class.
I liked anthropology. I think it was about like cultures and family. I don't know.
Oh.
Okay, so my movie, it's not as iconic, but you know, people say, what's the worst movie you've ever seen? And that's much harder for me to think of than the best.
Mm-hmm.
But there are two. And I've both seen them in the past year. One is called Two Loves from 1961. And it has Shirley MacLaine and Lawrence Harvey and Jack Hawkins, and she's like a teacher in New Zealand. She actually gave up the role of Breakfast at Tiffany's to do this movie. Now, would she have been great as Breakfast at Tiffany's? I don't know. That's not that great. Ooh, that should be what I say, stricken from the record, but the music's... I love the Henry Mancini score.
So that's tough, because you can find reasons to keep certain movies.
But... So really, this whole movie is Shirley MacLaine is like a virginal, inexperienced teacher, and Lawrence Harvey's like, sleep with me, I can't, sleep with me, I can't. Literally, that's like the whole movie. He's hounding her to get her in bed, and she's like, I can't love anybody, like for no reason. And I'm gonna spoil the ending too because it's ridiculous. So then
nobody's gonna watch it, so we're just gonna assume that based on this recommendation that nobody.
I had never heard of it until I watched it, and he's like riding. There was a part where he was riding down the street erratically because he was also a drunkard in the movie on a motorcycle, and I thought, I hope he flies off a cliff, and he did.
Amazing.
He did.
Oh my god.
And then he died, and she was sad, and he got a teenage girl pregnant before he died, and then there was this other teacher played by Jack Hawkins who was married, and then he unlocked her passion or something, and so they hug, and it fades to black, and when things fade to black what that means. And
it's
then,
like a train going through a tunnel right there.
And then it's the next morning, and you see her hand reach down and pick a flower and put it in his buttonhole, like he literally deflowered her.
Oh dear.
It was terrible. Watch it because I want y'all to know how bad it was, but it was terrible. So
only if you provide a feature-length commentary for us.
Yeah, mainly be like, what is this
that
going
would be enjoyable.
on? I mean, literally, like, she'd be driving and he'd show up, Lawrence Harvey shows up by her car. Hey, when am I going to be in your bed? He shows up on her front porch. Why won't you let me inside? He's like, he's angry about it. And it's like, nobody owes you anything. So, yep, that's mine. That's mine.
I believe that.
Do we need the Elevate though? Because I'm more excited about the Elevate one.
We can. We'll do the Elevate. We'll do the Elevate. Well, it was. She's jumping ahead, but
I'm
if
sorry.
you would
I'm
like
just so
to know,
excited.
she's very excited.
Okay.
We could elevate the status of a film that is not considered necessarily classic, but hoist it into a higher echelon of esteem.
Okay.
Mine might shock some listeners because I've always had a difficult relationship with this movie. I thought about a couple other ones before I finally settled on this because this was going to be more astounding to people. I originally thought about The Passion of Joan of Arc because of my experience with it, but ultimately it wouldn't have changed my life any. I feel like I would have just been forced to watch another movie that made me suffer for long periods of time over and over again. But I decided to pick Wizard of Oz. Because I watched it when I watched it, I had to be very young, and the monkeys, the flying monkeys, just really traumatized me. And it was the film that when anybody didn't know it, like at school, like there's like rain days and days that you were just sitting around watching a movie, and for some reason it was always Wizard of Oz. And I got so sick of it between the monkeys and just watching it over and over again.
Yeah.
And then as I grew older, I came to be like, you get beyond the monkey fears, the flying monkey fears that attack you in your dreams. And I just got tired of the Wizard of Oz references that are just everywhere. Mainly, we're not in Kansas anymore. It's like a catch-all for this is weird and it needs to stop. Maybe if that stopped, I could allow it to exist anymore.
But it's so ingrained in the culture.
It is,
it's hard, yeah.
And that's not the movie's fault. The movie's fine. If all that aside, I have no problems with the actual film itself, but the way it's been used and the flying monkeys. Don't forget the flying monkeys.
Yeah.
That was my reason for getting rid of it, because that has personally scarred me. There's a lot of movies I came up with that I was like, well, but that's really changed my...
Yeah.
So that was the one I came up with.
Can I share something, my experience with Wizard of Oz? I missed it as a kid. I watched it as a young adult, and I was like, what the heck is going on in this movie? This is weird. And then I was like, well, I guess I don't like this, if everyone else does. I read the book. I love the book.
Really?
I actually listened to the audiobook read by Anne Hathaway, and she did an amazing job. And it gave me a new appreciation for the movie. Now, I'm not saying this would happen to you, but like that was my experience, and I was like, that actually made me optimistic for films I didn't like in the past and might like in the future. Because I was like, your opinion can change, which I'm hoping with The Quiet Man it would change eventually. But I thought that was just interesting.
Give it the time to remove that initial reaction. It's like the reverse nostalgia, right? If you have enough time between it, you can also overlook. You can get out of that frame of mind you were in when you watched it initially.
Yeah.
So the nostalgia doesn't play the same role. Also, the initial violent dislike of a film can also, I assume, disappear.
Like movies I watched when I was sick, I have like a bad memory associated with them. Madame Bovary's not necessarily a bad movie. It's just I was sick when I watched it, so it's kind of hard to have good memories about it. Yeah. So.
No, see, I sidestepped all that because my go-to sick movies are always Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. So, like, I mean, you know exactly what you're going to get. And if I think about it at all, I never had any bad experiences.
What movie would you elevate?
I know, I'm so sorry that I interrupted. I'd be like, I was just so excited for this.
Enthusiasm is what we're looking for, Raquel. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to. Now go!
I just wanted to make sure that we didn't miss this part.
No.
Well, okay, so I watched this. Obviously from my choice for Akeem Tamirov at my dinner. I'm obsessed with him right now. I'm working through his filmography. So I watched The Reluctant Saint, 1962. It's Edward Dmytryk film, starring Maximilian Schell as Saint Joseph of Cupertino. Now, this film, like, I don't know why, it like blew me away. It was amazing. But it's like, it's relegated to the category of religious film because of the content. It's also related to biopic. And it's because, like, older biopics always change stuff. And they did change a lot of things in this movie from the truth. So it's been downgraded for those reasons. But Maximilian Schell's like performance in that is like blew me away. I was like, why isn't this watched more? Like, I was looking it up, and it's considered a Catholic movie, so it's just relegated to that, but I feel like a lot of people could enjoy it.
When a movie hits that religious category, there's a lot of reasons that people will ignore it.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. And
I've never seen it.
I just thought it, like, as a film, just not even like if you just consider it as a story, it was just brilliantly acted and well done. I thought it was amazing. Yeah.
So I'm getting texts, and I don't know who Brandon is. He's like, do I buy a ticket? Anyways.
This is the brilliance of live recording, is that we get texts from our spouses and significant others while we're recording, and we're just not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Tell y'all later. But anyways, the movie I would elevate is The Locket, a Robert Mitchum movie.
Oh, yeah, it's a good
with
one.
Lorraine Day, and it's kind of a B film noir. She's, I guess, schizophrenic, and she's making her way through all these men that she's destroyed their lives, and it's like a retrospective movie, and I don't know, it's really good. And the first time I watched it, I recorded it, and then the tape cut off, and I didn't know what had happened.
Oh dear.
She collapses at the end, and then for like 2 years until it showed again, I didn't know what happened.
Wow.
But now I have it on DVD, so I definitely know how it
You
is.
should talk to my wife. She had most of the movies she watched as a kid were recorded off television, and her sisters always cut off the end. So she knows about 12 or so movies really well, but she has no idea how they end. So when she won't even know she's watching them until she gets. So I go, this is where the movie ends. No, there's more.
The lack of closure would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
You're at a certain age where you don't think about it. I mean, you're watching, we had, for all of you youngsters out there, you would record movies on these VHS tapes, and you'd cram 3 of them on a tape, and it was an imperfect system. Because you're cramming three movies on a single tape, but there's gonna be a little bit of slowdown. You're gonna cut things off. Mm-hmm. Chances are there's commercials. Like, there's all sorts of things that can go wrong. But we did it anyway. And I remember vividly some of the collections that I had, the random accumulation of movies. I remember I had Police Academy 3 and Rambo on the same tape. I don't know why. It's just the way it works out. You rent movies from the video store, and you rip them, and they end up in weird places. But that's a little nostalgia for you. Dubbed VHS tapes.
All right.
Do you have an elevated movie?
I do have an elevated.
Nice.
I've been trying to get TCM, and by trying to get, I keep tweeting about it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now.
I've been trying to bang the octopus drum for a few years now as a midnight film. and I just feel like it's not known.
Yeah, I've actually never seen it, too. I want to, but...
It is such a bizarre cross-section of genres. It is comedy and film noir and monster movie, and it's something that you can't really conceptualize until you've seen the octopus. But it's like all genre, but nothing at the same time. And TCM played it a few years ago, and that's when I recorded it on there. And I watched it, and I couldn't believe this movie existed in some form. It's such a bizarre experience. And I finally found out that it's on a Warner Archive mystery and suspense collection.
Oh.
Which is a strange place to sneak it, but I guess they didn't know what to do with it either.
Right.
But I would elevate that movie so that maybe it would get some traction and more people would see it, and then maybe we could get a nice screening here so that it would play in its rightful place at midnight at the TCM Film Festival. I recommend everyone find it because it's just a fun old... It's almost like a live-action Scooby-Doo movie.
Oh, wow.
So track it down, find it however you can, and it's 60 minutes long. You can sneak it in whenever.
I love a short movie.
Yeah, me too.
Those old short serial type movies where they get in and get out and get over with. But that would be my elevation. I don't know if it ever has a chance, but I'm going to keep tweeting about it.
Gotta pitch it to Charlie Tabish.
I just keep tweeting about the octopus. And for the record, it's only SH exclamation point. You'd think there'd be more H's.
There's only one H?
It's SH exclamation point. The octopus.
The octopus.
The octopus.
That's very abrupt.
Yeah.
It is very abrupt.
And it is... You when I first heard about this movie, I kind of pictured the scene from Ed Wood when Martin Landau is wrestling the tentacles in the shallow pool, and you won't be disappointed if that's what pops into your brain either. So,
all right, cool.
I think that's all our categories.
I think so.
I think we actually hit it all. Thanks to Raquel for keeping us on task there because we almost missed that elevation.
And trying to speed it up faster than you wanted
There's
to.
nothing,
I'm so excited.
Nothing wrong with brevity. Now, the ladies on this podcast need to go do some fanciful things. If you do, they are going to go plop themselves down on the red carpet for the big premiere event tonight. You want to talk briefly about that tonight? What the excitement is?
Yeah. So the Producers has its 50th anniversary. So that's going to be the opening night movie. And then also Martin Scorsese is receiving the inaugural Robert Osborne Award for his efforts to preserve classic movies and to preserve the heritage of classic movies. And then a lot of guests who are going to be here for the different screenings are going to walk the red carpet. The upper level pass holders will walk the red carpet, and then a bunch of other celebrities too. So hopefully Jessica and I will be able to interview some cool people.
I've never done it before. I've watched the red carpet, which is also a lot of fun because you get to, I think it's fun when you get to cheer the pass holders because none of them are expecting that this is going to happen. And so, like, they're either stunned or they wave. So it'll be interesting to be on this side, hopefully. Hopefully I'm prepared.
Yeah.
And hopefully I see Nancy Kwan because I'm really excited that she's here. So.
Yeah.
And you'll be recording video too. You said you'll be sharing it on your
YouTube channel.
And you can find her YouTube channel.
YouTube.com/outofthepastblog. Should be easy enough.
I have a YouTube channel, but I can't remember the address. It might be /Comet over Hollywood, but.
Will you be recording video and placing it on this YouTube channel?
At some point, yeah. Hopefully.
Well, don't rush to Jessica's YouTube channel.
It will not be today.
It'll be there when it's there. My favorite red carpet was from a couple years ago. I was idling on the other side of the rope as I do because I stay at the hotel and they rope you off and you can't get anywhere. One of the Grease cast members was rolling.
I remember that one.
And one random guy was yelling at him. I can't even remember who it was at this point. It was so funny because I had to look him up too. Like, And he came over and was taking pictures with literally everyone that would ask because people recognized him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun to see him react to the fans. The story would be helpful if they had a name, but just know that it wasn't a primary. It wasn't one of the main cast members.
It wasn't John Travolta.
No, it wasn't John Travolta.
Frankie Avalon.
No. So it was somebody else, and you can process elimination. You can probably figure out who it was. Just go with it. But it's fun to watch them. Some of the stars that may not be as recognizable come and enjoy the fans and the attention they get from the festival goers, because even the most minor film stars are massive celebrities here.
Right.
While they head off to the red carpet, I am probably going to eventually get to check into my hotel, and then I'm going to head off to go fight the Theater 4 Thunderdome for finishing school.
Oh, man.
Because I hear that's going to be a hot ticket.
Everybody says they're going.
Everybody says they're going, but not that many people can get in. I don't
100
know.
will enter.
Maybe
2 will come out.
Maybe. It cuts down the attendees for the rest of the festival when you have a finishing school leading it off in Theater 4.
That's true.
Was it Barry Pearl?
Barry. It was Barry Pearl.
I got a picture of him from the red carpet that I'm showing, which you can find on my blog if you look him up.
Her blog is so helpful. She can even add color to my own recollections. It's like she was there. Barry Pearl. Barry was entertaining the crowds for at least 10 to 15 minutes over there, taking pictures and signing autographs.
They also had Michael Tucci, Jamie Donnelly, and Kelly Ward.
Okay.
Barry was the only one.
But they were surprises. They were all surprises, and they showed up at the poolside screening.
That's right.
Which was a sing-along, which I missed, which I'm so mad about.
The rage grows, apparently.
Must have been fun.
I'm sure it was. Have you been to a poolside yet?
Oh yeah, those are great. Yeah. Actually, the first time we ever, Jessica and I ever went to the festival.
And met.
Yes, and met. That's what we did. That's the first thing we did.
South Pacific. I was there. I was like, South Pacific is long, but I want to see Bitsy Gaynor, damn it. And I did.
And she did not disappoint.
And Ben Mankiewicz had just had his baby, his significant other had just had their baby, and she said, bring that baby out here, and they brought the baby out there so Mitzi Gaynor could see the baby. It was great.
Mitzi has that power here.
Yeah, she really does.
When she does that elsewhere, it doesn't go over so well.
She also grabbed her crotch.
Oh, she did. She did.
I'm sorry. This is like
I forgot about that.
This is the raw TCM festival.
This is the B-roll. I think that's everything, and hopefully we can all do a post-fest recap to fill people in all the things we loved and the first time watches that blew our minds.
Yeah, I think it'll be great.
It will be great. This was great. They're going to run off and do important things, and we'll talk to you after the festival.
Yes. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I need to go find Brandon.